Dear distinguished officials and friends of Indonesia, congratulations for the 15th anniversary of the inscription of Indonesian Kris to UNESCO representative list of the intangible cultural heritage of humanity. 15 years is a fraction of time for the history of Kris, the origin of which would go back to the 10th century. Yet, in our contemporary society, where changes keep happening at unprecedented pace, this 15 years would be critical in the continuation of an ancestral tradition such as Kris. Intangible cultural heritage is a unison of people, place, and stories. We need people who maintain the traditional practice, a place or context which supports the continuation of such practices, and collective emotion that values the continuation of intangible cultural heritage. This is why the safeguarding of intangible cultural heritage is probably more complicated than the conservation of a physical monument. How to maintain the production, use, demand, and spirit of a very old tradition, such as Kris, in a 21st century Indonesia is an interesting question and certainly a challenge. At the time of inscription of Kris in 2005, the government of Indonesia reported that the number of artisans producing high quality Kris, if they still exist across the islands, has been decreasing dramatically. 15 years down the line, what is the status? Has the number and quality of Kris production increased? Are artisans still happy and proud to make Kris? What is the average age of the artisans? Is there more information on Kris available to general public? These are some of the checklist questions to assess the vitality of an intangible cultural heritage element. Batik, which is another intangible cultural heritage from Indonesia, probably ticks most of these success indicators as the government has successfully linked Batik with market, employment, and education system. How about Kris? Could we learn from the experience of Batik? The debate is certainly very complex and there is not a simple answer. But it is important that this continues to be discussed in a public forum. UNESCO wishes you fruitful discussion for the future of Kris, so that the celebration continues for another 10 centuries to come. Terima kasih.